Share this article. Tweet Bruce Allen November 12, 2017. Photos by Getty Images. Lead photo by Honda. All season long, we at Mo have been chanting the mantra, let Valencia decide. With the title unsettled heading into the weekend, the opportunity for a riveting finale existed if only mathematically. Marc Marquez holding a 21-point lead over Ducati pilot Andrea Dovizioso as the riders lined up on the grid. The math caught up with Dovi on lap 25 when, desperate to get past insubordinate teammate Jorge Lorenzo, he ran hot into turn 8, ultimately laying his GP17 down gently in the gravel. And so the 2017 title was awarded at Valencia, having been decided some weeks earlier. Embed from Getty Images. While many fans were hoping for a dramatic final battle with Andrea Dovizioso at Valencia, the result was somewhat anticlimactic, resulting in Marc Marquez winning the 2017 Motogp Championship. Practice and qualifying all weekend, the Motogp world appeared to be owned lock, stock and barrel by a sublime Marc Marquez. He spent Friday and Saturday zipping around the Ricardo Turmo circuit, seemingly without a care in the world. His approach to racing is unique and reflects his high racing IQ. He finds the elusive limit on Friday and Saturday, then goes out and manages it on Sunday. As a result, despite hitting the deck 27 times over the course of the season, he crashed out of only 2 races. Embed from Getty Images. Facing a 21-point deficit to Marc Marquez, Andrea Dovizioso found himself in an even deeper hole at Valencia due to his struggles during qualifying. Meanwhile, Andrea Dovizioso, the great Italian hope of 2017, was having problems coming to grips with the short, tight circuit that is Valencia. FP3, for Dovi, was a mess, and almost forced him to endure the ignominy of going through Q1. Q2 was little better, as Marquez laid down the first sub-130 lap of the weekend early in the session while Dovi could do no better than the back of the third row. The good news for him, if any, was that Marquez was joined on the front row by Johann Zarco and Andrea Iannone, both of whom have been intemperately endowed with gobs of reckless abandon. Despite the dreadful company on the front row, Marquez appeared buoyant all day Saturday, and the weekend had anticlimax written all over it. The racing god in charge of qualifying, facing ridicule Saturday evening from the other racing gods, was heard to say, "Bollocks. You guys wanted Dovi on pole and Marquez 9th, no idea how I got that switched around. Bloody hell." And before we get started, let me raise the ire of some readers while I mention needlessly that Dovi and Marquez, the last 2 left standing, received stunning upgrades in the Brawly Girl department. By comparison, Jorge Lorenzo's Brawly person was 63 tall with long dark hair and an Adam's apple. The race. Embed from Getty Images. Marc Marquez and Dani Pedrosa had strong starts, making it difficult for Andrea Dovizioso to have a shot. As the red lights went out on the 2017 season, the 2 Repsol Hondas of Marquez and Dani Pedrosa jumped out front, which was big. Zarco, starting well, dispatched Iannone on lap 1. Gaining confidence on the great 2016 Yamaha M1, he went through on Pedrosa on lap 2 and was allowed through by Marquez on lap 4, as expected. Marquez, he of the high racing IQ, had a rabbit in front and a wingman behind him. He couldn't want for more. With a loosely gathered lead group of 5, the race proceeded, processed this way for the bulk of the day. Marquez being Marquez. Lap 24 would prove instructive. Zarco continued to lead, visions of his first Motogp win, and the first ever win by a satellite Yamaha, dancing in his head. But Marquez, rather than maintaining a safe gap between himself and the leader, began inching closer to Zarco, appearing to be lining him up. Lining him up, when the title was sitting there on a platter. But with Dovi stuck back in 5th. Embed from Getty Images. Showing again why he is the 2017 Motogp Rookie of the Year, Johann Zarco led for much of the race while battling with the factory Repsol Honda team. MM's lizard brain took over on lap 24 in 93, went through fast on Zarco at the end of the main straight, executing another transcendent save before riding through the turn, the runoff area and a large expanse of gravel, practically needing to purchase a ticket to get back in the race. He re-entered in 5th position and finished on the podium after the factory Ducati team imploded. Was this part of the Marquez team strategy to let someone take the lead, wait until late in the race, see what's up with Dovi and, unless he's leading, go for the win, and if it doesn't work out, oh well, must be, since second place was there for the taking. Unlike Lorenzo, Marquez seems to stick with the plan. Drama in the Ducati garage. Jorge Lorenzo, expected, at a minimum, to stay out of Dovi's way while the Italian tried to make his way up front, inexplicably and blatantly blocked him for the first 12 laps. On lap 13, Jayla received the first of 3 notorious dashboard alerts, mapping 8 code directing him to allow Dovizioso through, all of which he ignored. after having said he hadn't seen the exact same messages at Sepang 2 weeks earlier. Embed from Getty Images was Jorge Lorenzo more hindrance than help. Andrea Dovizioso was gracious when asked about being stuck behind his Ducati teammate for several laps. By lap 20, he had also ignored 3 clear pitboard directions to allow Dovi through. My notes on lap 21 included insubordinate. Lorenzo was, finally, gracious enough to crash out on lap 25, clearing the way for Dovi who, as excited as an Iowa farm boy in a Vegas whorehouse, almost immediately ran hot into turn 8, entered the gravel trap, and fell victim to River Rock. The 2017 championship chase with him, dusted and done. The post-race meeting between Lorenzo, his team, and the visiting suits from Bologna promises to be interesting. And all this, after Dovi declared just a month ago what a fine teammate Lorenzo has been in 2017, especially in comparison to the maniac he shared the garage with last year. Repsol Honda Magic. With 5 laps left, Zarco led a menacing Pedrosa and a distant Marquez. The last lap of 2017 took shape between Zarco and Pedrosa, not the matchup many of us expected, but a good one nonetheless. The grizzled veteran and the impudent rookie. The Frenchman with nothing to lose and the Spaniard with nothing to gain. Embed from Getty Images. Dani Pedrosa won his 2nd race of the season, helping Honda secure the Triple Crown of the rider, team and manufacturer world champions in 2017. Pedrosa made short work of Zarco at turn 1 of the last lap and easily held him off on the way to his 2nd win of the year, with Marquez gaining the 3rd step on the podium. His win, and the Ducati debacle, delivered HRC a rare Triple Crown in Motogp, top rider, top team and top constructor. It also saved Yamaha from finishing outside the top 2 OEMs for the first time since the earth cooled. Key moment of the season. Unfortunately, there is no obvious event one can easily point to as being the decisive moment of the 2017 campaign. Marquez says it was winning at Sachsenring and Brno, finishing the first half and starting the second half strong. Others might say it was the collection of impossible saves races in Assen and Valencia, practices in Brno, Mugello, Motogp and, famously, the save of the century during FP4 at Sepang. Personally, I think it was Phillip Island, where Marquez win and Dovis dumpster fire fanned an 11-point lead into a virtually insurmountable 33 with but 2 rounds left. Embed from Getty Images. There were many pivotal moments in the 2017 season, with Marc Marquez winning and Phillip Island being one of them. The last word. Despite the fact that a sizable portion of the Motogp fan world dislikes Marc Marquez, there can be little argument that he is the best rider in an age of strong riders and relative equity in the distribution of quality bikes. I never thought I'd say anything very complimentary about Carmelo Ezpeleta, the big cheese at Dorna, but his goal, begun years ago, to level the playing field and lower costs for the teams is working out, at least the first part. There is more and better competition these days, and what used to be a sharp line separating the haves from the have-nots has become blurred. Much more proletarian, with the exception of the party leaders at the very top. Listening to Marc Marquez discuss the championship in the post-race press conference, it became clear just how much mental energy he devotes to his craft. Yes, he has the entire package of physical attributes and a great company behind him. He freely admits to practicing crashing on Fridays and Saturdays, learning to avoid injury and allow the possibility of re-entering a race. See Joan Mir's performance in today's Moto3 finale. Dude has alien written all over him. Embed from Getty Images. Marc Marquez tends to crash more often on Fridays and Saturdays than he does when it matters on Sundays. 6 World Championships at age 24. Valentino Rossi holds the record of 9 at age 38. There was once a day where it appeared inevitable a young Tiger Woods would eclipse Jack Nicklaus' career record 18 wins in major tournaments, and many of you know how that worked out. Granted, there is a world of young talent out there readying itself to take on Marc Marquez and Motogp. They're all fast. But do they have the will, the mental discipline, the determination found in few athletes? Tom Brady and Peyton Manning come readily to mind. It takes to string together world championships like a daisy chain at such a young age. Embed from Getty Images. A new generation of bright young talents will try to challenge Marc Marquez, including Moto3 champion Joan Mir left and Moto3 champion Franco Morbidelli right. Only time will tell. For now, the motorcycle racing world has a perfectly adequate example of excellence at work in the premier class of Motogp. Perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence. Vince Lombardi. Thank you to the handful of readers who put up with this nonsense year after year. It is a pleasure delivering it to you and laughing out loud at your comments. I'll be taking a glance at testing on Tuesday and Wednesday on my blog, motogpindy.wordpress.com, where I occasionally post during the off-season. I'm discussing covering both Motogp and WSBK next season with the powers that be at Mo, so be forewarned. I will try to talk them into ordering a 2017 season recap for a few weeks from now. Otherwise, I look forward to your constructive criticisms and hysterical comments again next year. Peace.